Hey everyone, I'm Madeline Sklar, host of the Social ROI Chat. We had an amazing time today talking about live streaming video on social media. Our guest today is Stephanie Liu. Hey Stephanie, how are
Hey,
you?
I'm doing good. I'm like, wow, so much activity that just happened.
That was such a great chat. We have such an engaged community. It was just a nonstop talk, and it was a great topic. I mean, who doesn't want to talk about live stream video? It's such a cool thing to discuss.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I mean, lots of ideas. We got a lot of people that were just thinking about maybe live streaming, and now they're just like, I'm all in. I want to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to test this out, which is great because that's what you want to hear is you want to hear social media marketers leveraging the tools that are currently out there where they could go ahead and build long lasting relationships with their consumers. And if live video is one of the ways that you could do that, by all means, go for it.
I so agree with you. I saw a lot of people just light up like, I'm going to do this now. And sometimes they just need a little nudging,
Yeah.
they just need a little encouragement to start live streaming. I'm a huge fan, as you know. I love doing these weekly live streams after our chat. I love to bring our guest over here and continue the conversation because I think live stream is a great platform for this. So we'll go through some of the questions, get your expanded thoughts. I know with Twitter used to be the 140 characters was so limiting, and so the live stream was such a fun way to expand on everything. But with our 280 characters, we can actually say so much more in our tweets. But it's still nice to hop on video and just talk it out. And I
Yeah.
definitely want to discuss this further with you. So before we dive in, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure, of course. So I'm an ad agency veteran. So any social media marketers in the audience, I've been doing social media for the past decade and a half. So
Ooh.
everything in terms of helping Fortune 500 clients, small businesses, and entrepreneurs, I've been helping them for the last 15 years skip the guesswork on how to take their brands from unknown to unforgettable with social media. So it's been amazing. And it was one of those things, Madeline, where when I left the agency world, I wanted to be a social media strategist, right? I wanted to brand myself. Lo and behold, everyone was calling themselves a social media strategist. And so,
Right.
right? And to stand out of the sea of sameness, I decided, hey, I'm going to turn on this camera. And instead of telling you that I'm a social media strategist, I'm going to show you what I could do, right? And so I pulled back the curtain. I was like, this is my broadcasting plan. These are my social media analytics tools. And that's how I was able to drive a lot of new clients. And so ever since then, it's been like, oh, Stephanie is the live streaming expert. And I was like, I accept that because it's become a thing.
I love that. It has become a thing. I mean, look at how much live streaming has taken off in the past year and the last few years, but really the past year or so it's become the big thing. And that's why I love doing these live streams. It's just
Yeah.
an excellent way to connect and for people to see us. When we're on Twitter and we're doing the chat, it feels more like texting, right? It feels like we're
Yeah.
just having these text conversations with everyone. And I saw the video you made right at the beginning of the chat. That was awesome. But with Twitter chats, it's hard to be making a bunch of videos during the chat and trying to make them and watch and then tweet and it gets a little too challenging. So it is fun to come and do this afterwards. So now everyone can see us.
Yeah.
They feel like they're right here sitting with us.
They could
I
see
love
the
that.
sweat on our foreheads from
Right?
trying to answer all
All
of those
that typing.
notifications. Oh my gosh, yes. And it's funny because, as a guest, sometimes you get the questions beforehand and you have this way of like how you want to go ahead and answer the questions. But then as you're participating in the live chat, you realize, oh, okay, they're interpreting it a different way completely. And so you have to adjust. So it's fun. It's kind of like live streaming in the sense that like you have to know your audience and you have to be nimble and there's a little bit of improv mixed in with it too.
Yeah.
But the live streaming part is a ton of fun because you get to show your real reactions. I mean, sometimes, Madeline, there are times where I was like, I can't find the right GIF. Like I need the right
Right?
GIF for this response, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it seems like a lot of people I talk to, they're afraid to do live streaming video because they're worried about what if something happens while I'm live streaming. They're so consumed with perfection. And
Yeah.
I tell them like, okay, people don't expect perfection. Like I can almost always, well, I'm not going to say always guarantee, but most times the doorbell's going to ring, my dog's going to bark, and that's going to happen during a live video. Like you can't help things. You can't help everyday life that happens around you. When we record video, we can control everything, but
Yeah.
not with live streaming.
Not
And
with
that's
live streaming.
okay.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where if you're not used to seeing yourself on camera and you know that you want to step into the world of live streaming, give yourself some practice. You can definitely go ahead and create your own private Facebook group and just practice in there, get to know your nuances. Like I know for me, I blink a lot. So I try not to blink a lot, or I say like a lot, or sometimes I'll move my hands and it's out of frame. Once I started to practice and kind of understand my behavior, I was able to go ahead and shift it and just have these little mental notes of how I want to deliver my content. But definitely go ahead and create your own private Facebook group. Practice in there, practice your delivery. No one's going to know that it took you 10 tries to nail it on your first Facebook Live, right? Because you have that. And if you have some really good supportive friends, invite them into the Facebook group and they could give you some good feedback as well.
Absolutely. What a great idea. Just your own private Facebook group. You can even go live on your profile and adjust it so that it only you see it. Like,
True.
I have to remind everyone that there are these settings like you have, just your friends or for everyone. And then there's one that says just me. And you can actually live stream and set it to just me so no one else sees it and you can practice. So yeah, that's really great advice you shared. I love that. Let's jump into some of these questions so we
Sure.
can have you share your thoughts with us. The topic today, live streaming on social, everything you need to know. And you know a lot. I will say you definitely know a lot about this area. And I'm so glad that you embrace it. Like you were saying earlier, just like how I embrace being known as a Twitter marketing expert. I love that. And I will take that designation.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that you have really branded yourself as this video expert. And you really shine today. You are sharing so much great stuff. So I'm excited to have you talk about it on video now. So we'll start with question number one. How can live streaming help your brand reach your ideal customers?
Okay. So the answer that I gave on the chat was really super geeky because I'm totally on the geeky spectrum, right? But honestly, live streaming gives you so much possibilities in terms of engaging with your audience. There's so much you could do in terms of asking questions in real time, showing their comments, doing polls. That's like a new thing that just got released. But for those of us that are social media marketers and those of us that actually do the advertising piece of it, what I love most about Facebook is that you can create a custom audience of your viewers that only watch 3 seconds of it. That means if you're very strategic with your live videos and you shared it into social media marketing groups, right? If any of those viewers watched your live video for at least 3 seconds, you could go ahead and remarket to them later down the line because you know that they already know who you are or they're already interested in your content. So that's a new way for you to go ahead and get in front of a new audience. You could create lookalike audiences. I mean, there's so much that you could do with live video. Facebook makes it super easy just to get your brand top of mind and tip of tongue.
Oh, that's super smart. I love that. Okay, so then let's move over to question number two. What are some new Facebook Live features and how can businesses use them to grow their audience?
Okay. Well, this was funny because a lot of people were just kind of like, I didn't know that, or I didn't hear about that. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I've been freaking out about this like for the past week. So the first one, like I said, is live polls. And what's cool about this is that you don't need a third-party software. Listen, if you guys go live on your phone, right? And then you have the actual post on your desktop, you click edit on the post itself, go over to settings and interactive, and you could start creating a poll that your viewers can go ahead and answer while you're on the air. And then, Madeline, you could go ahead and publish the results right then and there. So that's a part where I'm like, wait a second. So you're saying I could get real-time engagement without having to read comments? Because let's be honest, right, Madeline? When you're live streaming, you're like, okay, got to look at the camera. How's my audio? I see comments. Trying to read like full-blown questions and comments while you're live streaming can be really hard sometimes. And so if you wanted to go ahead and set up like your poll beforehand and then publish it, that makes it really easy. So that's like one trick. The other one that I was really surprised that people were like, oh my God, I didn't know that, was that you could go ahead and cross-post your live videos. And we'll talk about this a little bit later, so we'll pause on that for now. But cross-posting your videos is another new functionality that you could take advantage of.
Well, let's talk about the polls for a second. If you're doing a third-party tool, can you still do the polls, or is it strictly if you're live streaming natively?
There are some third-party platforms that let you do polls within the platform, like BeLive lets you do that, right?
Okay. So I could do it right now? Like I can go into the post and do this right now, or do I have to do it ahead of time?
I think BeLive has its own functionality where you can make polls in it. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a BeLive user.
Okay.
But like, let's say for Ecamm, I use Ecamm. I could go ahead and go live on Ecamm and then just have my browser open, click edit, and then publish my polls that way. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's interesting. I don't see, like, we're doing BeLive right now. We're using BeLive to do this live stream.
Are you checking it out right now?
And so, well, because I haven't seen this feature with BeLive, but if I go over to the live post right now.
Okay.
You're saying there would be a feature for that? Because I don't see that.
So if you look at the post itself, and then on the upper right-hand corner where you usually have like your 3 dots, and then click on edit post. So that should open up, and then over onto the right-hand side, it should say something like interactive. Do you see that?
No, I don't.
Oh,
so
I
guess that means BeLive does not have this integrated in. So then maybe I need to test this and do a native, no third party, just do a native Facebook Live. And then you're saying while I'm broadcasting live, I go over to the post and I can do that?
Yeah. Oh, that's a bummer. You know what? I'll actually have to do like a follow-up tutorial video, just send it over to you. Be like, look, this is how you do it.
I want to see that. Yeah. Because how new is this? Is this a brand new feature?
This was just like two or 3 weeks ago. So they first announced it. And then a lot of us, it depends, right?
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it depends. Because if you were a page that had early access, you've probably had it for a couple of months now. But globally, if you're outside of the US, this has been rolled out. And it's basically, you can go ahead and leverage the benefits of a live video without actually going live. So for example, if I had a pre-recorded video, I could upload that to Facebook. And instead of just uploading it as a scheduled video, right? A scheduled video isn't going to have a countdown timer. It's not going to have any real-time benefits like a Premiere badge, right? It's just going to go ahead and publish. With Premiere, it feels like a live video in the sense that there's a countdown timer. People can go ahead and click to get a reminder. So now people are like, oh, wait, what is this new thing that Madeline's working on? I want to get a reminder. So you get that pre-show buzz that's going on. As the video plays, people can go ahead and leave real-time comments. So let's say you're not even behind the camera, but you want to engage in the comments. You can do that. You could still do that. You'll get a permalink that you could go ahead and share on social media. So honestly, Madeline, it's just like live video, except you're not live streaming itself. Yeah. So it's like it's airing for the first time. And the way that I described it in the chat is that it's kind of like MTV TRL, you know, when you would drop like the world premiere, like you're making a really big splash about it. First time you see it. It's a cool way for you to go ahead and get people pumped up about a new product launch and flash sales. I mean, the holidays are coming, Black Friday, you know, there's a lot of things that you guys could go ahead and announce using the Premiere functionality without having to, you know, get all dolled up the day after Thanksgiving, right? You just get your video loaded up, promote your flash sale, boom, you're ready to go.
Yeah. They're very cool. I'm definitely going to look into that and see what all, you know, can be done. It sounds really cool. It's a great idea. Okay. Question number 4. I loved your answers to your answer to this one. What are 6 social media marketing tools that every marketer needs? And you shared a list of really great tools.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of tools that I generally use. But as far as Lights Camera Live goes, like my first one would be Agora Pulse, right? Like that's my go-to in terms of my social media inbox, managing all of my clients, figuring out what's coming in my inbox, and just knowing that my intern can hop in there, check things off, right? She checks things off, and then I don't even have to worry about like, did you see it? Did you not see it? Because my social inbox will say 0. So that's like my favorite. The other tools that I love as a live streamer, right, is Ecamm. We've talked about that so much already. You could brand your show, you could do your comments, intro videos, outro videos. Um, Stop me if you have any questions. But the other one is LastPass. You know, as a boutique social media agency owner, there are clients that I work with that, you know, if I could just go ahead and get them up on LastPass, we don't have to text each other's, you know, passwords. There's a lot of
Yeah.
security by using LastPass. It's accessible on my smartphone, so that's super helpful. Video Hive, you know, as a video content creator, I'm not the best editor. Let's be honest, right? There's some people, especially YouTubers, that are great when it comes to like jump cuts and templates, all of that stuff. For me, what I could do is I could just go to Video Hive, find a template that works for me and my client, and then hire someone else to edit it into the template. Saves me so much time.
Okay.
I could seriously get like a quality template for at least like $5 or $10, depending on what type of platform is being used, but it's super helpful. Have you used Video Hive at all?
I have not. I've heard of it, but I've not used it. I'll have to
Okay.
check it
Okay. And then my other favorite is InShot.
out.
InShot
I've used that.
is, yes. So I like to make a lot of lifestyle videos of my daughter. She's 3 years old. She's growing up. And, you know, we go to places like Disneyland and SeaWorld. And I like to take these little shots of her. And through InShot, I could go ahead and take that same video, repurpose it in landscape, in portrait, make it into a square video, you know, and it's just super helpful. Like, what do you love about InShot?
Yeah, I like the ability to be able to change the orientation on that. So I could, take a vertical video and make it landscape or different things like that and easy to edit. So it's a great tool. I love using it on my phone. It's a great mobile editing tool.
Yeah. And then I think the last tool that I mentioned was Creative Market. Like I said, I'm a fan of templates, and there's so many things that you can find on Creative Market, whether, you know, like you and I, we both speak at conferences, right?
Yep.
If I'm looking for a specific theme, like let's say it's about cars, right? I could find something that has like the stoplights and all of that good stuff. I could find a keynote presentation. I could find a video template. I can find stock photos. It's kind of like my favorite go-to. You remember when Groupon used to be like the big, huge rage with
Oh,
everyone,
yeah.
right? And they'd go
Oh,
every
yeah.
single day. Well, like Creative Market has really cool templates that you could download for free. Like they have like 6 new ones that you could download every week. And I'm like, okay, adding this
Wow.
to my Dropbox. I'm all about this. I'm all about fonts. Like it's a candy store for me.
Okay, cool. Those are all great tools. So I definitely recommend everyone check these out if you're not already familiar with them. All right. I want to do the question where you talk about this live cross posting. I want to get to the bottom of this and learn about it.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
question number 6, what is Facebook live cross posting and how can someone live stream to multiple Facebook pages?
Okay. Live cross posting is like linking your page to other pages. And then when one of those pages goes live, it goes live on all of those pages,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So, for example, a couple of friends and I, we just launched a new membership, right?
Yes. Congratulations. I saw
Thank you.
that.
Okay, yes. I won't mention on the show, but basically we went live on this new page because no one really knew about it, but because all of our other pages had an audience. What had happened is we went live on the new page, and then it also went live on 4 other pages. So that means all of the engagement that we're getting on each of our pages, it rolls up to the main page, meaning instead of
Okay.
one video getting like 50 views, right? There's 50, 50, 50, 50. So it's like
Right.
200 live viewers or 200 comments. It all rolls up. And so, from a marketer's perspective, how you can use this is imagine you're doing a blitz campaign. Let's say you're doing a flash holiday sale. All of a sudden, people are scrolling through their newsfeed and they see Madeline everywhere, like, oh my God, she's launching something new. Like, what is this? Like, when we launched our membership, it was one of those things where people were like, I am seeing you guys everywhere. Like, I saw it
Right.
on a new page, I saw it here, I saw it there. But it's a great way for you to go ahead and repurpose your content. People can go ahead and cross post your videos as soon as you're live, or they could choose to wait until it's done, right? And then flip the switch and go ahead and cross post the video then.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Is this just for pages or does this work with groups as well?
This is just for pages right now. Yeah.
Okay.
But I would imagine eventually the Facebook ecosystem will be all on the same. Like, I feel like with Facebook, sometimes like one of the platforms is driving on the left side and then like Instagram's driving on the right side. You're like, come on, can I get all of you guys just to work together?
Exactly. So how does this work? Okay, so like for instance, because I haven't used this one yet. I don't know how it is. I don't know about some of these newer features that have come out. I'm just I feel like I'm behind the times with this. So I have a podcast, and my co-host and we do a live stream once a week where we just real briefly come on and we talk about the episode, and we do it from the page. We have a page for our podcast. But
Yep.
this would be great to simultaneously have this go out to both of our own business pages because we each have them.
Yep.
So how do we do this? How does this work?
Okay. So if you go to your main, whichever page that you have right now, the joint one, let's say you go to your joint
Okay.
page. You click on settings. On the far left-hand side, you're going to scroll all the way down to where it says cross-posting,
Okay.
right? And then once you go to cross-posting, it's going to give you this option to go ahead and add a page. So you'll type in your page and then the other person's page, right?
Okay.
From there, you're going to have an option where you could decide that, okay, if I add this new page, do I automatically want to go ahead and publish their live videos, or do I want it to be manual where I have to view it first and then I'll push it out?
Okay.
Right? Because what happens is if the page goes live for other things unrelated to your other pages, it might feel spammy, right? So it's up to you, your call on how you want to go ahead and do that. But we know for our joint page, we only go live probably like once a month. So it's never going to bombard the other 4 pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing that because I want to make sure
course.
we have that turned on. That's great. All right. So let's wind this down to one more question. Question number 7. What tips do you have for content creators who wish to utilize a script during live broadcasts?
Yeah. Okay. A script is really hard, you guys, because when it comes to live streaming, you definitely want to keep your eyes on the camera because that's how it's going to feel like you're actually engaging and talking to a real human being. If you're trying to sound perfect with your script and everything, you might flub. And sometimes if you flub, then that might throw you off and your whole demeanor might look very unnatural on camera. So one of the tips that I have for content creators is the why, what, how, and what if formula. So tell us why we should go ahead and tune into your show, what your show's about, how your show is going to change my life or solve my problem, and what happens if I don't tune in, right? That's a little scarcity or FOMO of like, well, if you don't tune in, you're going to miss out on this new cross-posting functionality, right?
Right.
And if you didn't tune into the social ROI chat, then you probably haven't heard about my favorite repurposing tool that automates your process, right? So that's like my favorite. It's your why, what, how, and what if. And it's super simple to do. I use this a lot when I meet people, Madeline, right? They're just like, hey, so what is it that you do? I'm like, hey, so what I do is this, why it's important. This is how I show my clients how to do what. And if it's not something you've ever heard about, you could call me or learn more, right? So it's just a simple formula that I use all the time. And a cool way for people to be mindful of it is just put it on a Post-it note. So if you're live streaming, for like, let's say from your desktop, just keep it by your camera, and then your eyes can just naturally dart over to it a little bit every now and then versus like looking down and trying to remember your script. It could be a little hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That is great. Great tips. This has been so awesome, Stephanie. Thank you so much for being our guest today, sharing so much amazing information. I know that so many of our participants were taking notes. There were quite a few tweets, and I don't normally do this, but there were quite a few tweets where I was like emailing them to myself. It's like, oh my God, that was great information. Let me just email it real quick to myself, and I'll go read it later and go through it. And it's like, yeah, you shared really, really great stuff. So thank you. Thank you for being our guest. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
You know what? Go ahead. You can find me at lightscameralive.com. Everything that I shared with you today on the social ROI chat, I have tutorials, like step-by-step tutorials. I mean, you guys saw it. Madeline was just like, how do you do that? I have it in my brain and I have it on my site that shows you pictures, step-by-steps, some pros and cons of why you might want to try it and reasons why you don't want to try it, right? So things to be aware of. Let me be your guinea pig.
Awesome. This has just been so great. I definitely recommend everyone go check out Stephanie's website. Go immerse yourself in all of this greatness. You will just walk away with all this brain power. It's so awesome. Thank you, Stephanie, so much. And thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll be back next week with another Twitter chat for you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.